Hang out with us while we meal prep for our large plant-based family. Let's go. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another meal prep. Today, we're going to do something a little bit different. Typically, when we do meal preps, I like to write a whole list of items that we want to tackle for the meal prep for this week. However, today, I'm going to kind of have a more of a relaxed approach to it, and we're going to freestyle it. We're going to just make what we feel like making. Let's just see what we have in the fridge, and we're going to prep according to that. We'll see what happens. First things first, we like to start with the yeast dough because it takes a little bit longer for it to proof. I have a full video on how we make bread, the simplest and the easiest way without any fuss. I will have that in the description linked if you are interested in making your own bread or if you're just a beginner baker. Of course, I will also have a recipe down in the description if you want to follow it as well. I know it may be a little bit late, but better late than never. We already had breakfast, and now I am aproning up to meal prep. Next, we are prepping all of our vegetables, so we're giving all of our vegetables a good wash before laying them out and getting it ready to chop. Alrighty, I have ravaged our fridge and I went and tried to see what we had in the fridge left over. I am actually going to make some burritos out of some of our leftovers. We have some spicy sweet potatoes here. We can add some beans or actually have some leftover, it's our mujadara, or it's really just quinoa and lentils with some caramelized onions, which we can also put into our burritos. So I'm gonna have Israel help me with the burrito making. And then the girls, we're going to be making some apple pie, walnut muffin type things. Okay. And then, I also have a ton of vegetables here, which I'm going to be chopping. These are, we'll see what we can make with them. Maybe we'll make lunch preps. Maybe we'll just chop them up for prepping. But yeah, right now we're just going to be working on some burritos and I'll do some chopping. You can literally put anything in a burrito. So if you have any leftovers, this is a great time to wrap it up in a burrito. While I'm chopping up these vegetables, I can actually make a soup. I'm going to I'm going to go through all of these vegetables, put a bunch of random vegetables into my pot, and then we're going to make a delicious soup. So I've got onions, carrots. Mercy, do we have celery? We are using what we have to make good food for the family that is wholesome, whole food. And typically when I make soup like this, I like to flavor it like an Italian type of seasoning. So I will have like maybe oregano. I have an organic Italian seasoning which I use, but you can use like rosemary, thyme, oregano, things like that. But we have just a regular Italian seasoning in it. It's very convenient. In this little Ziploc bag here, I saved some of the beet tops. We usually like to roast beets up for our salads, and so you can actually eat the beet tops. Don't throw them away. It acts kind of like greens. We are going to add this into our soup, and it's going to be lovely and green in there. Perfect. Now, if we have some extra time, usually I like to saute all of our carrots, onions, and celery first, like our mirepoix, our base. But today, it's sort of a dump and saute as you go, and just a dump and go type of soup that I'm making. So I've also got some red potatoes. We are going to be chopping these up and putting them into the soup as well. The potatoes, I really love to add potatoes because it bulks up the meal. It is pretty frugal. I mean, we use organic produce, so it's a little bit more expensive, but it's still not bad. So let me put this on the stove. We're going to use a little bit of grapeseed oil here and of course season our soup. This is our first layer of seasoning. We're going to slowly stir up all these vegetables, add some more vegetables if needed, and we're going to then let it simmer away. As I said before, I like to use like sort of an Italian seasoning for this type of soup. So I have some Italian seasoning going in, some onion powder. You can use your own type of seasonings, whatever that you have. We're going to cover up these vegetables with some water. Let it simmer and boil until it is done. Welcome back to our little baking corner here. So Grace and Mercy, the girls, are going to be starting to bake some scones. We've got some muffins going down. I have a big bag of frozen blueberries that I would like to use. It is springtime, so I figured spring kind of resembles blueberries are kind of fitting for spring for some reason. I don't know. So we're going to put that in. We're going to also zest up some lemons for some of these things. Maybe we'll put it into the muffins. That sounds really good. Some blueberry and lemon muffins. We should make lemon cookies. Mercy here is starting on some scone dough. Grace is washing up our lemons really, really well, and we're going to zest it up. You see just the yellow part? Turn like that. Like that. Okay. So just keep going, try to get to the, see? The white part you can see. We don't want that, okay? Because it's very bitter. So just want like that. Keep going. Try to get all the yellow parts. Israel is doing a first punch down of this dough. We're going to knead it a little bit and then put it back down to rest for another rise before we form it into a shape. I am adding some frozen blueberries to our scone dough here. Doing a very quick, rough mix here just until the dough is incorporated very well. Once that's done, we're going to put it onto a floured surface, and just make sure that you flour your surface because it can get a little bit sticky and you don't want to overwork this dough. Add just enough flour to flatten it to the thickness that you want. It's going to rise a little bit. We're going to punch these beautiful biscuits out or scones out and add it to a baking sheet to bake. This could be a really fun project for you and your kids, especially for the kids. They can use any type of shape or cookie cutter to make these biscuits or scones, or you can just be like us and just use anything that we can find, which is a cup. Once they're all punched out, we're going to put them in a hot oven to bake for about 20 minutes or so. Meanwhile, Israel is working on the blueberry lemon muffins, and he gave a smoldering look. These smell so good, like the batter itself smelled so good. I cannot wait for these. We have a Benetton like this. It's kind of a long one. We're gonna do an experiment with one of the loaves, and then the other one we're going to put in here to proof. So let me get one in here. I'm gonna do this loaf because this one's a little bit more difficult. So last time we did this, we didn't flour it enough. We used our freshly milled spelt flour for this. You can use any flour you want. Now I've found because it's a whole wheat, it doesn't have as much gluten as like regular all-purpose flour. So it does take extra kneading if you can. Right here, we're just forming a loaf as best as possible, and we're gonna put it into our Benetton with plenty of flour so it doesn't stick. We're gonna let it rise one more time before we put it into the oven to bake. After baking, the scones are ready. Look how gorgeous these are. They rose up beautifully and it's nice and flaky. You can see the blueberries. So delicious. The smells in here were absolutely fantastic. It was like a bakery at home. All right, so you can see our dough has risen, and so we're gonna put this just the way it is, but this one I'm gonna put on a parchment. Hopefully it doesn't stick. Whew. Did it stick? Nope. Perfect. Hold that. I was thinking I could score it, but I think we're just going to bake it as is right now. So let me just get this into the oven. Okay. Israel said we should score it. What? Just one in the middle? Okay. Yeah, just one in the middle. Okay, go. Put it in. Hot oven. Open it. I have put the bread loaves in the oven at 475 degrees. We're gonna bake it for about 20 minutes, and then we will then lower it down for a little bit for the next 15-20 minutes or so. By this time, our blueberry lemon muffins came out as well. Ugh, when these came out, it smelled even better. I am having Israel start on another dough. We are going to be making some cinnamon rolls because the kids have been loving cinnamon rolls. And then we also have the girls help out with chopping up vegetables, and we're also going to do a gratin. We are chopping up all the vegetables we can and seasoning it all up. I have some chickpeas here that I have cooked from scratch. It took about, I would say, 2 hours or so. We just kind of slowly boiled it in the back burner, so to speak. And then now it's nice and tender, so we're going to just blitz this up to make a hummus. I am just going to use what is in here, all the liquid. You can see that there's like some white bits here, and that's just because of the, like, I guess the chickpeas, the way that it cooks, you just kind of get a ring. So I'm just going to transfer these beans into my little container. This is actually the container that we're going to use to store up, so I may as well just blitz it in here. You can absolutely make sort of an oil-free hummus. We are not an oil-free family, so we are going to add a little bit of oil. I got some tahini here, so I'm going to use that. And I am just eyeballing this because you can use however much or however little. It works fine as long as it blitz up. Oh. Next, we're working on the gratin sauce just by boiling some cauliflower and adding some seasonings. You can put this on a bed of roasted vegetables, or actually just chopped up vegetables, and then we're going to bake this whole tray in the oven. The cauliflower and the boiling liquid just makes it a little bit thick and creamy, and it gives the vegetables a little bit of liquid to roast up, and it makes this delicious sauce once you bake it up. Once we pour it, we're going to zhuzh it a little bit, and we're just going to bake it in the oven for about 30-35 minutes or so. The cinnamon roll dough is done proofing, so Israel is rolling it out. We're going to add our cinnamon sugar mixture here. We're almost there perfecting this recipe. We cannot wait to share it. The more that we make it, the better they are. So just be patient with us. We are going to release a recipe very soon. We're getting close, you guys. We're going to put these into a baking tray, and we're going to put it in the oven to bake.
It smells delicious. No, I don't want that one. I'm cutting everything out. It's like apple cinnamon.
We are back from lunch break. I am making something very, very simple. We're going to make sort of a Moroccan beans. I was thinking of separating the beans. I have about, 8 cans of beans in here. It's quite a bit of beans, 7 cans. So I was thinking maybe I can make 2 things out of these. We're going to do like a Moroccan beans, which we can serve on toast. And then there's also sort of a bean sauce for like pasta or something. I think I'm going to do that. 7. That's what I said. 8, 7, 6. Very, very quickly, I'm going to add some this is just crushed tomatoes into my pot. Woo! I'm also going to add a little bit of water to this as well. Okay, I think I changed my mind. We're going to make sort of like a baked beans. I like the sweet bean dishes that we make. So I'm going to add some coconut sugar in this and some spices such as smoked paprika and ancho chili. I have my box of seasonings. Let's put some Italian up in there. Some smoked paprika. I need some paprika, ancho, some onion.
You want to know what got me?
I'm going to do half a cup of coconut sugar. Maybe a little bit more. And for some spice, I'm going to add a touch of chipotle powder. This is going to be a really, really quick sauce. We don't have a lot of time, so I'm going to have another can of crushed tomatoes. Put some water in that, please. Now all I have is cannellini beans at the moment. I'm going to put this, like maybe half of this. And then that's it really for this sweet baked beans, spicy baked beans. I feel like I need some more beans in here. There's a lot of sauce. Oh, let that simmer down. Let it. You can definitely bake this if you want to. I'm just going to do a stovetop baked beans. We love eating this on toast. It is such a versatile thing to have up our sleeves because we can have it for lunch, we can have it for breakfast, sometimes even dinner. We love this stuff. I like to have a balance between like a little bit salty, smoky, spicy, and sweet. Lots of Italian seasoning, onion powder, I have just whatever that I have left over in this olive jar. I have like 3-4 olives. I'm just gonna put the brine in there as well, just to add some extra flavor. And same thing, we're gonna add the beans. I was inspired to make sort of a Moroccan-y type of flavors in these beans. So I'm gonna have a bit of smoked paprika as well. We're gonna do a little bit of cumin. And some cinnamon. I'm gonna add a touch of clove, why not? Just a tad. So as you can see, we're making two sort of like of the same ingredients, but very different like flavor profiles or ingredients or like the seasonings. So you can spice it up however you want to, change it a little bit, and it'll taste completely different. And you can use it totally different ways. There's a savory, salty one back here. We have a sweet one in the front here. I love it. I'm just gonna let this simmer on low for about 15-20 minutes and it's ready and done. We just want to make sure that the flavors are kind of penetrating the beans so that it's a nice and flavorful bean. We're making some breakfast cookies here. We're just doing some, or really this could be snack cookies if you want to. This is just mashed bananas. We're going to put some coconut sugar. We have some almond flour in this one, so this is like a gluten-free. We're going to add some oats. You can add applesauce if you want to. Just kind of make it more satiating by just adding some really nice wholesome ingredients.
It has some chunks.
Yeah, it looks like there's some chunks.
I left it like that.
No, we needed to mash it, Mercy.
I love chunks. Purpose.
It's not gonna mix well. Okay, good. We'll put like that much. It's like a 1/4 cup of applesauce. As you can see, I am not measuring. This is about 2 teaspoons of baking soda, roughly. We're going to add some almond flour. That's about 2 cups of almond flour. As I mixed the batter up, it looked like I needed some more flour, so I'm adding 1 more cup of flour. The rolled oats. This is about 2 cups of rolled oats. Just for a little crunch, we're gonna add some walnuts. I'm gonna see what we can find in our pantry for seeds and nuts and things like that. Let's do some. I want these cookies to be quite large, so we're using about a 1/4 cup measure to measure out our cookies. We have them on parchment paper, of course, just to make sure it does not stick. As you can see, it doesn't have to be perfect. Now we're going to bake them in the oven for about 15 minutes. And this is our spread, you guys. Look at this. We've got some beans, cinnamon rolls, some freshly baked bread, scones, so much going on. We've got some beautiful gratin. We've got breakfast cookies, a beautiful soup. We are really satisfied and happy with the outcome and what we've prepped today.
Hello.
Okay. Ta-da! we're done with meal prepping today. Really, I feel like it was kind of a baking day today, like a bulk bake, but that's okay. We accomplished a lot today. We have 2 types of bean sauces, one for pasta, one for bean toasts and things like that for breakfast, for lunches. Very simple. We have some delicious cinnamon rolls. We are perfecting a recipe for you guys so we can send it to you, or make a video for you so we can show you how to make the best cinnamon rolls. They're all plant-based, of course. We have
Muffin.
we have muffins here. What are they?
Blueberry, lemon muffins.
Blueberry,
Vanilla.
lemon, blueberry, vanilla, and lemon muffins. We have some bread here. This one is a little shaggy, but that's okay. It's going to be delicious. We also have a loaf of sandwich bread, which turned out perfect.
We have potatoes.
We have some marinated potatoes for Trey's dinners and lunches if needed. We have some scones, some blueberry scones made of whole wheat flour.
Bean sauce.
Bean sauce. What else? So we were only able to make 4 burritos because we sort of dropped our flour tortillas. It happens.
Angel dropped it.
We have a thing of hummus here. We have a gratin for Trey. We have some delicious breakfast cookies. You can see these. These are banana, apple, oats. They are so good. I tasted one. We have a big batch of soup here for dinners and stuff throughout the week. I think we accomplished quite a bit this week. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I need to eat a muffin.
Like I said, I think it's more of a bulk bake day. Let us know if you're interested in sort of a bulk bake day. That would be kind of a very fun video to make just every day. It's like meal planning, but just bulk baking and baking everything for the week. Isaiah!
What was he doing?
Let us know in the comments what you would like to see next. If you're interested in the bulk baking, just let us know and we will do that. All right, it's time to get all of our dishes done and all this food put away.
Isaiah, stop trying.
Thank you so much for watching us and joining us. Subscribe if you're new, like and share this video, and we will see you on the next video.
Bye, everybody.
Isaiah!